What's up, guys? Dave with Miracle Canine Training, out here with Major again. We are now on day 3, I believe. You have seen the video from just yesterday on us introducing the remote collar into the heeling, where we were using the continuous pressure and the leash pressure to keep him into position. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be jumping into step number 2, or technically 3 if you count in the prong collar walk initially, of the walking. And this is going to be fading out as much help on the leash and switching to using a single tap correction on the remote. So initially, as we're working through things, the idea is, again, teaching leash, e-collar, they're the same thing. They do the same thing, they accomplish the same thing. From there, our goal ultimately is off-leash reliability, right? So what do we need to fade out? We need to fade out all of the leash help that we're giving in these situations. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be taking him for a walk here. We're gonna be staying looser on the leash here. So I'm gonna be giving almost a J in that leash, giving quite a bit of slack. And I'm gonna be switching to just using the word no with a tap on the e-collar if he gets out of position. I will be starting my walk off with a come command, which is gonna imply that I want you to stay with me in my bubble as we're walking. From there, we're treating that come command as an implied stay. So as we're going through this process, if he gets out of position after I've said come at the beginning, it would be a correction for non-compliance of that command, and we're gonna see how he does. So let's get started. Okay, so starting my walk off, loose on the leash here, e-collar set at a level that is slightly more motivating than the continuous pressure we were using before. What level is that going to be in his case? Since we've done about 2 walks now since that first video, that level's come down pretty drastically as he's getting the hang of it, but we want to have a noticeable response when we hit the button. If he's sniffing something, when you tap that button, he should immediately stop sniffing it. If he is getting ahead, when you tap that button, you should see an immediate shift in behavior as we're working towards this goal. So we're going to start here, loose on the leash, come, and we're walking. Again, looking that that leash stays loose and that he stays with me here. I'm a little less critical on if he stays super close. I just want to see that he doesn't get ahead. No. So right there, correcting for the sniffing. Now notice what we're starting to get here as we're getting good attention is that he's staying further behind me, which is the goal here. We talk a lot about the concepts of the dog following us and how that maintains more of a degree of attention. If the dog is slightly behind you, they're going to be able to see your positioning far more than if they were a little bit ahead of you, obviously. So the further back they are, the more committed they typically are to the position of where we want them to be. So same deal, loose on that leash, making sure he's sticking with me and giving me good attention here. Now, same deal as we're passing people. All I'm looking for is that there's no sniffing over in their direction. So again, e-collar set to a fairly motivating level. As we're going past, if I see no, the nose going over like that, I'm gonna mark with no and give a correction. And we have a lot of distractions going on. I know I'm wearing a mic so you guys could hear me, but I could hardly even hear myself talking over the train, the traffic going by, the buses, the semi-trucks. I have another loud one coming past right now. So you see that causes, a degree of concern out of him. He's like, what the heck is all of this stuff? A lot of these dogs aren't used to this much stimulation. So we're teaching him to work through that kind of stuff here. So again, as we're walking here, making sure anytime he gets ahead, we're giving our correction and seeing if he falls back into position. Like we were doing yesterday, I could slow down and make sure he matches that pace with me. But again, we're having him actively starting to stay in position a little bit better. Sit. I could also start adding in some leash pressure with the sits here, at stops, things like that, and just getting him a little bit more focused. Come. Now, the other thing that holding this leash loose does is it allows him to try more things so that he could have more learning opportunities ultimately. There's enough leash here where if he wanted, he could try to pull off into the grass. He could try to pull off towards one of these trees as we were passing by it. But instead, we're seeing that he is actively making the decision to stay in that position on his own, which is a huge part of teaching leash walking and addressing general reactivity as a whole. Most dogs get reliant on the leash. Everybody will tell me, oh, you know, my dog heels pretty well, but really what's happening is they're holding their leash like this with constant tension in the heel position. So the dog is never actually learning where you want them to be, because 9 times out of 10, because they're reliant on that constant pressure, when you go like this and drop that, they immediately get out of position. Where what I want to see is that he maintains position through that, right? Nothing is holding him back. This leash is nothing but a safety protocol at this point of making sure, 1, I have something to give information if I need, and then 2, to just comply, no, to general leash laws, obviously. So again, right there, correction, I want to see him move back into position after that. And we're at about a 20 on the Minute Educator right now. That's out of 100, so very low. Yesterday, for most of that healing session, he was working 50 to 60, I believe. So you can see he's getting more sensitive to it, he's getting more compliant to it, and doing a very, very good job. So again, the goal is going the whole walk loose on this leash. I want to be able to do all of this without ever needing to give information on that leash to get him back into position. If I need to, I will, but the goal is that the e-collar is understood enough for him to make that adjustment on his own. Again, slowing down, making sure he's maintaining position. No. If he gets ahead, I'll be giving my correction for that. Notice how he fell back into position. Again, passing really loud trucks right now. Making sure that he's going to stay focused on me enough through these distractions is essential. Again, slowing down even more. A little distracted by people back there, but still doing a really great job of maintaining focus. Coming to a stop, starting walking again. Like we did yesterday, we could do the speed up, walking from a normal pace to a very quick pace. And then once I'm cruising in that, I could go to a very slow pace. And notice again, without any leash help, he's maintaining that position, and I'm walking into branches. So again, normal pace, speeding up, slowing down, stopping. Good boy. Okay. So again, normal pace, quick pace, slow pace, and stop. No. Again, didn't stop with me, so we're going to try that again. Normal pace, quick pace, slow pace, stop. Good boy. Okay, we'll try one more time here. Normal pace, quick pace, slow pace, stop. Good job. Okay. So again, just different techniques we have here to be able to proof our walk. These are the different standards we need to be able to hold this to, because the more attention we have, the less reliant on the leash we are, the more you're going to start to see those reactive behaviors go away, those anxious behaviors out and about, and your leash walking is going to get to a point where you could really start enjoying it. Again, I'm hardly even holding this leash, but we have a dog here that's understanding where he needs to be. So work on these things. This is step 2/3. If you have any questions on the process, let us know. We'll go from there.